What do you do when you get in a creative rut as a street photographer? Stick around and I'll show you what I'm doing right now, which might help you too. When you do something repeatedly, even if it's something you love to do, you're probably going to find yourself in a rut one day. Ruts are common, and they happen to everybody in different ways and at different times. How you get out of a rut? Change is one way, and it's effective. I've been shooting street photography for a good number of years now, long enough that I'm comfortable teaching it. It's something I love to do. That's why I started doing it in the first place. I was in a photo rut professionally, and I just wanted to enjoy photography for the sheer fun of it again. So I took to street photography, and it worked. I had fun, and I'm still having fun doing it today. That said, I get into ruts just like everybody else. Why? Repetition's my guess. The reason I believe that to be the cause? It's due to the solution, change. I'm not talking about doing something else altogether, although that could work too. I suggest changing one, no more than two variables at a time. In this case, I'm changing from my trusty 35mm to a 21mm, two of them actually. And because I have to get right up on people, I'm going to predominantly shoot from the hip. I'm sure many of you know what shooting from the hip means, but for those that don't, it's simply taking the shot without looking through the viewfinder. It doesn't actually have to be anywhere near your hip. I've been shooting with a 35mm or its equivalent most of the time that I've been shooting street. I started with a Canon 5D, which actually was with a 50 at the time, and then I got hooked on the Fuji 100S when it came out. As a matter of fact, this is the one. I believe that was in 2013. And it's got a 23mm on a crop sensor, giving it the equivalent of a 35mm in full frame terms. It's got a fixed lens, and I absolutely adore this camera. It's still one of my most favorite cameras I've ever owned, and it firmly hooked me on the 35mm worldview. I'm now shooting almost everything with this, my Leica M10 monochrome with a 35mm Zeiss, which this one's not. This is. I've had this lens for longer than I've had the camera. With all the comfort and familiarity comes a potential pitfall, boredom. You can get tired of seeing everything from the same distances and angles for so long. With the simple act of changing focal length and committing to it for a consistent period, maybe 1 week, 1 month, even a year if you really want to push it, you're moved out of your comfort zone. Initially, I expect to miss a lot of shots because I'm used to being at a certain distance dictated by the 35 and looking through the viewfinder. Moving to a 21 means I have to get even closer to people, or else they're going to be tiny in the frame. I still find it interesting how much smaller people appear just being a few extra feet away with a 21. I'm also finding that I'm cutting off heads and not getting things I wanted in the frame due to shooting from the hip. So I've been tilting the camera up to get everything I want in, and it's obvious. I've got to figure something out to change that because the look gets old fast. 21mm can be forgiving up close because it has a lot of room. At the same time, it's very unforgiving of distance. I'm not sure how long I'm going to give it. I planned on a week, but I think I'll go longer. I'm happy that not all of my shots are sucking, but the suck ratio is definitely higher now. I love a challenge though, and I refuse to let the 21 get the better of me. I know it's a very capable lens in the right situations. I just have to put it in those situations. I hope this was helpful. If you found this interesting, please like and subscribe. And if you ever want to take a street photography workshop in Paris, check out the links below. I offer individual and group workshops. See you in the next video.